I've used the OnePlus Watch 3 now for about a month, and it has quickly become my favourite smartwatch I've ever tried. This thing, this thing is pretty fantastic. There are loads of videos out there giving an overview of every single feature on it, so I'm not going to make just another one of those. Instead, I've written down the big things that have made an impression on me and just some of my thoughts. Some are going to be big important things, some will be little and nitpicky, some will be positive, some will be negative, but hopefully they're going to be useful.
If you're new around here, hi, I'm Carl. I'm not some trendy tech YouTuber. I'm a very busy dad of young kids with a full-time job. I love tech, but I'm not that interested in the numbers or the tech specs. I'm interested in how it would actually slot into your life and the features you're going to actually use day to day. The very first thing I noticed about the watch is the way it looks. I love the way it looks. So many smartwatches try and look all modern and slick, but I love the way that normal watches have always looked. And this looks like a normal men's watch, which I've worn my whole life. It's a bit chunkier, but it's really comfortable on your wrist, and a good watch does have some weight to it, so I'm kind of used to that. I think it feels and looks fantastic and incredibly premium as well. Everything about the physical design screams quality. And they also now have a 43mm version, which is much slimmer and more dainty. It's a completely different design, so if you prefer that one, then great. I love the way that this one looks. That being said, I hate the stock watch faces. They are designed well enough, but they all have this cheesy tagline on them which says "OnePlus never settle." It feels like some cheap marketing packaging. I just don't want to look at that at all, let alone every time that I check the time on my wrist. But luckily there were absolutely tons of others to choose from, and once I found the one that I liked, this became obviously a complete non-issue. One really nice little touch when you're swiping between those to choose a watch face is that it tells you how much each one is going to impact the battery life at the top. A green 1 means good, and ones with a red 3 on them, they're going to drain your battery. The sleep tracking is fantastic as well, especially nap detection. I found that really useful. Not that I ever nap, but when I'm up and down with the baby all the time throughout the night, it often tracks those 20 minutes or half an hour bits of sleep that I can grab in between her wakes, when my Fitbit, which I was using before, just didn't really. It didn't count those. So here, it adds all of those onto the overall sleep score, which means I can see them and it's much more accurate when I wake up in the morning. It also just seems to be very accurate overall. The other health feature which I'm finding really useful is the wellness score. Now, you don't check this all the time, but what it is it basically uses a bunch of the data the watch collects to try and rate your overall mental and physical wellness throughout the day. I've tried a couple of these stress management tools over the years, and they've all been pretty average, really. This is the first one I've felt has actually truly got it right and represented how I feel throughout the day. It has this little line graph, which seems consistent with how I'm feeling. When it gets stressed out and overwhelmed and grumpy, it goes down into the red. And when I relax, it goes up into the green. It seems impressively accurate. And so at the end of the day, you can sit back, reflect on how you felt, how you dealt with the challenges that you were faced throughout the day with a bit of data to back up. It's really useful. The battery life is fantastic. So much so, I actually turned on the always on display, which I don't normally do on smartwatches, just because I thought, I can charge this thing a little bit more than I am. That's fine by me. Before I turned that feature on, I took this on a week-long holiday, and I only charged it once for 10 minutes while I had a shower. That is pretty incredible, really. Now, it achieves this long battery life by going into this hibernation sleep mode at night to keep power draw right down. It then reboots in the morning, which takes like, a minute or something like that. I've rarely noticed that though. I think this is a really smart feature. I know some people don't like the idea of not having access to the watch that you've paid for without having to reboot it when you want it, but that hasn't bothered me at all. All I need from my watch in the middle of the night is for it to track my sleep while I'm asleep and for it to show me the time when I wake up. I'd much rather have the longer battery life that this feature gives you than having instant access to all of the possible features that is in this thing in the middle of the night for some reason. This little charger, I do find a bit of a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I prefer it massively to the Fitbit charger, which is pretty awful. This thing snaps on really well and you can plug any USB-C cable into it. So this was great when traveling. I didn't have to bring a separate cable, just this small little puck here, because I'm already bringing tons of USB-C cables for all my other things. I do worry about losing it though. That's the negative. It is just this small cube. It would be really easy to misplace it. And of course, it costs a reasonable amount when you want to replace it. I also love the crown. It's really nice and tactile to use. It's very quick to scroll up for notifications, down for settings, or to press it in to get to all your apps. And having Gemini when you hold it in is fantastic. That's where I want an AI assistant. If I've got a quick question to just ask it, my daughter asks me something that I don't know about, why is the sky blue? I can just quickly hold it down on my wrist to ask AI. Much more convenient than pulling out my phone or going to get my phone from somewhere else where it is, unlocking it, finding the app. I can just do that. It's great. The last negative is an obvious one. I imagine everyone watching this at home is going to already know this, but it's Android only. It's Wear OS, so it's great if you use an Android phone. This thing's fantastic. I completely recommend it. But it's completely useless if you own an iPhone, which is such a shame. I would love to be able to use this with my iPhone and recommend it to other iPhone users. It's frustrating, but it's not OnePlus or Android's fault. It's Apple's. There's rumours that they're going to be forced to open up to more third-party smartwatch options in time, and I really hope that that is true, because if you're an iPhone user, Apple Watch is your only real option. I mean, you could use Fitbit like I was doing, but after using this for a month, I don't want to go back to it. This is just so much better. Okay, so that's some of my thoughts on the Watch 3 from OnePlus. Overall, incredibly positive. I really like this watch, but now I've got to go do the washing up before the kids get back from the park, so thanks for watching.
Keep